Hey Morse family, just want to say hi to Paul, Tracy, Lori, Ren, Rolf, Phoebe, Ben, Libby. We miss you guys a ton. Always are thinking about you. As Zach's birthday approaches, of course, we're always thinking about him, but especially around this time of year. So we wanted to do something that we can give you, that you can have in your own possession. We got together, we decided to put together a bunch of different videos, talk about different ways Zach has impacted our lives. You'll see a handful of his friends here on this video here moving forward, but just know that he's impacted people beyond this video more than you can understand. So what we wanted to do is give you something, compile these videos together. Whenever you're feeling down or around this time of year, if you want to bring it up, watch with the family, feel free to do that. That's why we want you to have this. So we miss you guys a ton, always missing Zach. Throughout this video, you'll see a bunch of his friends telling some great stories and ways he's impacted us, and I'll be there to wrap it up at the end. So miss you, talk to you guys soon.
Hey Paul, hope you and the family are doing well. Long time no see. I can imagine this time of year is always difficult with Zach's birthday around the corner. Zach and I, as you know, have been friends really since Hebrew school, where we met in 3rd grade. And I just wanted to share a quick story. I can remember when we were younger and thinking how cool it would be to actually, play hooky, or, we were too scared to do that from school. But, Hebrew school maybe is another story. So there was this time where Zach and I went, you guys dropped us off. We went up the street, to go to Rite Aid, to get some candy, hung out on the playground, whatever. And I can remember Miss Walken, as Zach and I were hanging out on the playground, coming out saying, "Busted!" to the two of us. I miss that guy. He was a great friend to me, and wish you and the family well. This time of year is always difficult, but you're in our hearts. Take care.
Paul, Tracy, and the rest of the family, just know that we're thinking about you guys this week. We miss Zach so much. Anytime I'm driving and a random song comes on, I think of him, because regardless of the genre, he always knew all the words to all the songs when I was quite the opposite. A few other memories that come top of mind that I'll never forget. First and foremost, when he was in my dad's basement, and there's a legendary picture of him taken where he was sandwiched between two girls holding up 2 beer cans in each hand, and just looked like the happiest man in the world. Between that, eating a frozen pizza with him and Corey, just chewing directly to the center and laughing hysterically, and probably eating it in a minute and a half also comes to mind. But also all the deep talks. Zach would either say something so spot on or so outrageous that the deep talk would go to laughing hysterically. But all that, we miss him, and miss and love you guys.
I remember one time we were on our senior year spring break, all excited, getting fucking drunk, and I remember me, Moss, and Corey were on the 3rd story balcony in one of our rooms, just getting drunk on the balcony, and out of nowhere, Moss just grabs all the furniture and throws it over the side, falls all the way down, smashes into a ton of pieces, making a huge noise, and I look at Moss, I'm like, why the fuck would you do that? He goes, "We're in Mexico, mijan." So, not even 10 minutes later, me and Corey decided to go back to our room. Moss was staying in that room at the time, so he's in his boxers, he's got his hairy ass body, he always loved being in his boxers for some reason, but he pretends to go to bed, and me and Corey go out in the hallway, and before you know it, there's 10 Mexican police out there cornering us in the hallway, screaming at us in Spanish. We have no idea what the fuck's going on. They're flailing, they're handcuffs, screaming at us. So before you know it, you don't really have too many rights in Mexico, so they bust in the hotel room. Moss is still in bed pretending to be asleep. Before you know it, they rip his covers off. They start yanking at his foot, yanking him. He's like, "No, senor, it wasn't me. Full well knowing it was him. And the way it ended was, the language barrier, we had no idea what was being said, so it was just totally confusing. It ends by Mr. Hunt waking up out of bed drunk. He's in his tighty whities, no shirt on. He looks at him, pulls his credit card out and goes, "Does this talk?" Man, it was just so funny. Such a fond memory with Moss. But Paul, listen, I know you're sad. I know you miss Moss. Just know that you're not the only one. You know, you did a great job raising Moss. He's one of the best kids I've ever met in my life. Most selfless, down-to-earth, caring kid. He was definitely one of my friends that was a true friend. He actually cared and tried to reach out to you, man. I mean, even when he was in the Army, I would always receive random phone calls from him, just checking up on me, checking how I'm doing and how I'm feeling. And I honestly regret it a little bit because I didn't really reach out to him as often as he reached out to me. And he was definitely in a harder area, or like, the circumstances for him to reach out to me were definitely a lot harder. So that's something I always think about. I have a ton of memories with Moss. Such a great guy. You got to remember, the good die young, and that's unfortunate, but God obviously had a plan for him. So just know that we love you, Paul. We're thinking about you, and we miss you, man.
I have a lot of special memories with Zach. I mean, through high school, college, but definitely the ones that are the most bittersweet in my heart would be the times that we had together in Canada. And just what I love about Zach as a person is just when he would speak to you and others, he was so genuinely invested in getting to know you and what you had to say. And also, and this really reflected in Canada, was him living in the moment and just being present. And I love to live my life that way too. And just seeing him, it was just such a great reminder to always do so. I remember one of the days up there, it was just absolutely gorgeous out. And I still remember just smiling, looking at him, looking off the deck and just really taking it all in and just being so appreciative of just being one with nature there. And it really warmed my heart to watch him look out. And up there too, I remember one of the most fun days was our neighbor has a 4-wheeler, and Zach, Hannah, and I went on it, and he just whipped. We had so much fun. I was just flying through the forest, but I trusted Zach. I knew we were going to be good, and it was so much fun. So just some really special times, and my family is also just so blessed to have known Zach. I mean, everyone that got the pleasure of knowing Zach has just touched their lives. So miss him.
So many words randomly come into your mind and heart when you think of Zach. Kindness, benevolence, quiet intellect, inclusivity. So many memories too, when he accompanied me to find my beloved missing loons, and I yelled up to the front of the boat, "Do you see anything, Zach?" And he's, "No, just these big black and white birds." He then learned what a loon looked like. Mostly with Zach, he was one in a million, and I think we have testament of that in our Canadian home. The rock formation, known to us as Inushuks, will always be a glaring reminder of his love, his presence, his walk among us, and also a reminder to be, because in a world of human doings, Zach was a human being, always aware of his environment, always aware of the people in it, and you could not be changed by this incredible young man. We miss you, Zach. Thinking of you always and your family, and I will always think of you up north, and I will be.
Paul, I think I need to start this video by formally apologizing for smoking weed in your house all those years without your knowledge. Hope it didn't hurt that resale value. But a funny story about Moss. So this was senior year of high school, I think. We were traveling down to Ohio University for some party or fest or something. and we were staying with Kelsey Williams. I think you've met her before, probably. She was a good friend of Zach and I's. So long story short, we go out to the bars, we're drinking kegs and vodka and shit all night, just getting hammered. We go back to Kelsey's dorm room. Her roommate was out of town for the weekend, so Zach was staying in her roommate's bed. We're like eating pizza and wings and all this shit. We ended up staying up till probably 2 a.m. It was time for bed, so we all go in our respective beds. I'm sleeping on a bottom bunk. Kelsey's above me in the top bunk, and then Zach's over there on her roommate's bed. I start hearing these noises of like groans and then breathing heavy. I'm like, Moss, are you alright? And he was like, I'm fine, I'm fine. Not kidding, like 10 seconds later, all I hear is, bleh! And he pukes all over Kelsey's roommate's bed. All over it. Just disgusting. He gets up, climbs down to the little steps. You know how Moss is always in his boxers, he's always hairy. So I'm just like half hammered looking over, and I see Moss's hairy chest. He grabs this ice cold Snapple that's Kelsey's, opens it, chugs half of the Snapple, and then he's done drinking it. He looks over and goes, can I have this Snapple? And I fucking lose it. I mean, this is like one of the funniest stories just in general, not even about Moss. I think about this story all the time. It has me crying, laughing. It might be, you know, one of those you had to be there, but on a more serious note, I have 1,000 stories of Moss making me laugh, but I have even more stories of him being a great friend and just an overall great guy. I mean, it's really hard to put into a 2-minute video how much Zach impacted my life. I mean, I remember times in college where I was going through some rough patches, and he was always there to kind of help me through that, give me advice, and he never judged. He was just always down to earth and just a great guy. I mean, he was just a great soul, and I miss him dearly. But I love you, Uncle Paul. You were just as much of an influence in my life as Zach was, so I'll never forget that. And I know it's a tough time right now, but just know we all love you. We all miss Zach, and he'll always be in our hearts and in our memories. But love you, Paul.
Hey, what's up, fam? Paul, Lori, Tracy, Ben, Libby, Ren, Rolf, Phoebe. I miss you guys. Thinking about you at this time of year. Happy birthday, Moss. I love you, brother. I miss that furry little goofy ass. Too many good memories, man. Let's go back to time Moss, we're out on the lake. Moss jumps in this freezing water, and he goes, ah, liberating. Like, what? What teenager says that? We were laughing at him then, but I still say it to this day. Another thing, Moss, Josh, and I, we were a little drunk over at that apartment, and I actually got a video of this. It's funny. Josh and Zach getting ready to tee off in the middle of the courtyard. Zach goes, we're gonna have to run because I'm gonna shank this shit. I pretty much say that every time I go golfing now. Forgot to mention, by the way, funniest part, Moss was teeing off in a Tarda shirt and his boxers. I love you, bro.
Hey Morse family, it's Kyle Corbett. Wanted to say hello, give Zach a shout out on his birthday. I think it's great what Mikey's doing, getting everyone together and sharing some stories about Zach. Obviously there are a ton of hilarious memories that we all have. One of my favorites was reading Zach's senior quote under his picture for the first time. It was a quote about my dad saying that, what did it say? This isn't a frat house, go find some fast food joints, something like that. So I know he loved everyone being around. It sounded like maybe he wanted a little more alone time, but every time I think of that, you know, I get to get the memory of my father, get the memory of Zach, and have a laugh at the same time. So I hope everyone's doing well. Really miss y'all. Obviously miss Zach so much, but wanted to say hello from the river. I have a little dog now, and I do live in a cabin on the river in Warsaw, Ohio. So if you ever find yourself in the area, please let me know. I'd love to see you.
Hi, Paul. I just wanted to reach out. I heard that you're not having the best of days, and I can completely understand how you feel. And I miss your boy so much. He was such a big part of our family, especially during the junior high days when they were all wild and crazy, and he always brought the fun, and he was just such a good kid, and we really miss him a lot. And the first thing I wanted to do when I heard about him was talk to BC about him, because BC loved him too. And my favorite quote was from Zach, "This ain't no Holiday Inn." He used to mimic BC all the time, and it just really made our day, and it was funny. And I miss you and hope that things are going well for you despite it all. I know that, I know how you feel, trust me.
Paul, Tracy, family, if any family's there, we all just wanted to send you guys a video remembering Zach's birthday this Friday and the impact his friendship still has with us to this day. No video or photo will do Zach justice, you guys know that. And I started just thinking of all the memories we had at the Ottawa Hills home, and then the countless at the old Orchard house, the big party we all had with 30 of our friends or whatever, and it just thinking of all the good times. Rec ball, his high arc in 3, that was always money. It's just amazing to think about how that always went in. The game Ren got into at T-Stone, just great memories, and nothing will really do him justice. And the impact that his friendship still has on all of us today is just really displays the type of person he was to us.
Man, 60 seconds to describe Moss or a story about Moss is just never enough time. I would say the biggest thing that I miss most about Moss is he always used to come over and we would sit and talk with my stepdad about politics for probably 2 hours. My stepdad was very, very conservative, and so I always thought it was interesting how Moss loved to pick his brain. But Moss was just one of those friends where you could have those in-depth conversations about controversial things and nobody got offended, nothing. It was just an understanding of, it could agree to disagree or whatever it may be. And he was just one of those people that just never judged anybody. He was just a good dude, man. I miss Moss a lot. He's definitely always will be one of my best friends.
Paul and Tracy and everyone, hi, I love you guys. I think of you often. I think about Zach all the time. He follows me in life. And as I'm sitting here at my boyfriend's mom's house, I met his mom yesterday. I'm really, really grateful for Zach and what he taught me about life and love. And I tell people all the time, I told Jackson this morning, I'm like, until now, I haven't been in love since I was 15 years old, 14. And I'm here in California. I travel half of my life, and the first person in my life that I saw doing that was Zach. And it's always incredible how much he kept in touch, and just such a good soul, and that's all because of you guys. Paul, you are you two were exactly the same. And there's a reason he was so great, and his life was, short, too fucking short, but so goddamn impactful. And I just want you to know that, you know, you're not alone in missing him and his presence and his wisdom. And the only reason I am where I am today with this person that I'm probably gonna marry, it's just not here right now, is because throughout the years I would call Zach and talk to him about my relationships, and even after, I talk to him still, check in, because I know exactly what he would say to me. I just wanted to send you a message today that I'm so grateful for the person that you raised, because he's incredible. And I'm just sending you love today, knowing that we all miss him so much, and I love you so much. And next time I'm in Toledo, I would really love to see you guys again. It's been too long. Love you.
Hey, Lori, Paul, Tracy. Thinking about Zach on his birthday. I know this is a tough time for everybody. I think about Zach all the time. As you know, he was my first friend. Yeah, my favorite memory was Zach when we were in Israel. When we met up, we got to play basketball by the Mediterranean Sea, which was pretty awesome, and just, you know, talk about life. And I'm grateful and happy we were able to, you know, experience and be in Israel together. But yeah, I love Zach, and you know, we all miss him, and, you know, hope you guys are well. Love you. Bye.
Hi, it's Sydney. My quick Zach story is actually about the Breaking Bad series finale, so the very last episode. I go over to the boys' house, we're sitting down on the couch, we're ready to watch it. I had never actually even seen an episode of the show up until this point, but I'm sitting there and Zach sits right next to me and he looks to me so serious. He goes, "Sydney, I love you. You're beautiful. You have a great ass, but you better shut the fuck up for the next hour of this show. I don't want to hear a peep." And everyone started cracking up laughing because I was not even talking when he started telling me I better shut the fuck up. And it was so funny. And now every single time someone talks about Breaking Bad, I see Breaking Bad on Netflix, whatever it may be, I'm instantly reminded of him. Brings a smile to my face, and I love and I miss him so much, and we love you guys. I hope you guys are doing well, and I can't wait to see you guys soon.
So when me and Zach were friends, I always talked to him about going deer hunting, and how when a deer steps out in front of you and you put it in the scope, you always start shaking. He always said, "No, I won't shake. I won't be nervous. I'm in the infantry. I shoot all the time. That won't happen." I always told him that it would, that it still happens to me. Well, he came home one time with me down to Georgia, and we went hunting. And we're sitting there just, you know, BSing, talking crap to each other. And then out of nowhere, a deer actually stepped out in front of him. Well, Zach, you know, gets behind the gun, his rifle with a scope and everything, and he gets behind it, and he's sitting there, and he starts asking me a million questions. There are deer out in front of us, you gotta be quiet. He's turning around asking a bunch of questions, like, "Oh, can I put my hand here?" Like he's never shot a gun before. And then he's sitting there, and I see his arm, you can see it kind of start shaking. And then he turns around and comes off the gun and starts asking more questions. And then after that, you know, he goes back down, and he's like, "All right, I'm gonna shoot it." And then he's like, "I'm shaking." And anyways, he ended up shooting over the top of the deer. We didn't see any blood or anything, but I just thought it was funny how this man never was gonna shake when he went to shoot a deer. And that day, he was shaking in his pants. But hey, look, Mr. Paul, I know it's a rough time of the year, especially right now, being his birthday and everything. Just know you have a bunch of support. Everybody here loves you. Everybody here loves him. You know, can't express the words of how much Zach impacted my life for the positive and the better. He's part of the reason I am the man that I am today. So I just want to say that from the bottom of my heart. All my prayers are with you, all my best wishes. I hope tomorrow or today is easy on you. I hope you have a good day. Just remember the good things about Zach, because there's unreal amount of good things that came with him. He impacted everybody in a better way, and we love you and miss you, man.
Where to begin with Zachy? He has been a constant in my life for well over 2 decades, so you can imagine it's hard for me to narrow it down to a single experience or an individual memory. A lot of my most fond memories in my childhood and growing up, Zach was definitely a part of that picture. Whether that's going over to my grandparents' house and trying to hustle $20 out by, maybe doing a little bit of a car wash or pulling the weeds, family trips together, whether that's to Kalahari, sneaking into the jungle gym set well after hours, playing football in the banquet hallways, or our trips to Arizona back during the Levis and Bennett era were all ones that always come to mind and just make me smile. And then growing up together, in high school and, playing together in recreational or the J-ball leagues where Zach would probably be a little bit overly ambitious on his range from behind the arc. And I just feel really fortunate to have had him as part of my life and have, your whole family a part of my life just from a generational standpoint. And thinking about you all, as I do often, I love you and hope to see you all soon. Bye.
As you can tell, Zach has impacted us in so many different ways, just giving us so many great memories, so many things we can hold on to, always being there for us. Just one of the best guys I've ever met. You heard a ton of stories here already. Of course, we can't even put everything into a video and compile that together to describe Zach and all the great things he's done for everyone. A couple of good stories that I can think of. One time you were out of town, Paul. I don't know where you were at, but us being freshmen in high school, we took advantage of that. So we ended up having a few people at your house, maybe more than a few, having some drinks, just being degenerates. I ended up finding some gummy vitamins of yours. I think they were, adult male gummy vitamins, and I didn't really know what they were, but, after having a few drinks in me, I ended up eating about probably 30 to 40 of them. I absolutely smashed the bottle. And I didn't really know what I had done. I didn't think anything of it, but Zach came up and he was looking at me with the bottle, and as I was eating them, he goes, how many of those did you eat? And he's like, dude, that's not okay. Like, you're gonna get so sick. Like, you're not gonna make it past tonight. I had for sure thought that I had just eaten way too many vitamins and I was gonna explode or something. So Zach, knowing that I'm really not gonna die or anything, but still going on with the joke, we walked around the whole party, going up to each person, Zach saying, hey, Mike ate all these vitamins, this is his last day. Give him a hug, tell him how you feel about him, because you're not gonna be able to talk to him again. And just hearing Zach, just keep that joke going and really just cracking up behind me. But I had no idea. I thought I was really doomed or something. Just so funny, always instigating, always just making funny moments for us. Another story I can think of, the last time I saw him, we were at Barry's Bagels in Toledo. I think it was around Christmas time. I was home and he was home as well. And of course, as you've heard, he always reaches out to us. So he reached out to me, hoping to meet up. I was with my girlfriend and we met at Barry's Bagels. Zach walks in, it's middle of winter. Zach walks in, big hoodie, sweatpants, and flip-flops. Just, not a care in the world. Typical Zach, doesn't care what anyone's gonna think about him as long as he's cozy and in a happy element. So he looked great when I saw him. He was so excited about the future. He said he had put a lot of things behind him. He was just so optimistic, and it was great to see that. And just having him meet my girlfriend, he really had a great conversation with her. When we left, he gave me a big hug and said, you better marry that girl, and that's definitely what I plan to do. Getting Zach's blessing is just as important maybe as getting her parents' blessing, but hearing that Zach had his stamp of approval definitely made me feel like I was in a good position there. Just overall, I can't even put into words all the things that he's done for us. Just always giving straight shot advice. No BS guy. He's so down to earth, but you know, if you need help or if you need any assistance just in your life or any input or advice, he was the guy to go to. He was going to tell you straight up. Just such a good guy that you guys raised. We miss him every day. I mean, as you can tell, the impacts that he's had on our lives, I mean, it's you can't put it into words. We miss the shit out of him. We love you guys around this time. I know it's hard, but we're really happy that we were able to put this together for you and, you know, have something that you can hold on to and bring up whenever you want, you know, watch with the family. We love you. We're thinking about you. Zach is always in our hearts, and, you know, he talks to me every day. He's the little angel on my shoulder giving me advice right in my ear. So we miss him. Love you guys, and we'll talk to you guys soon.